Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Sex Ed by Ruele-ations. I am your host Ruele-ations. And Happy New Year from wherever it is you're listening to me from. Unjani, Saubona. How's it? so a funny story. Funny story and good news. So thing is, Sex Ed by Relation, the podcast is gonna go visual. So part of the 2023 um thing is was that I should make my podcast gather a wider audience, and what's better way to do that than to have it visual. So here we are, and I'm talking about it. So now here is a funny story. So remember how, like, if you listen to the podcast, you're gonna realize that there's going to be a slight difference. This is because when I recorded the first video, I had it in what, portrait, landscape, portrait, yeah, the straight. It was the straight kind of version, but this is, so after when I was uploading it is when I realized, gosh, um this is not how, it's not the right format for YouTube. Gosh, I'm still learning. So yeah, I had to do the video again, and so here it is. And yeah, so we do learn from our mistakes, guys, isn't that right? So in the previous episode we were talking about the revelations that I had for the year 2022, so please do go check for it. I'm going to add it in the description below. Gosh, I'm finally saying that. Anyway, so in this episode we're going to talk about the safety for the queer folk, because queer folks have been a target of violence for a very, very long time. And we got sad news yesterday. So today's the 6th of January, and yesterday, or this morning rather, we got devastating news that one of our queer folk by the name Edwin Shiloba was brutally murdered, and his body was discarded in, say, the most possible ways. And I would there are videos outside that are showing what happened in the state he was found, but I would literally not advise you guys to go watch it, because it's very, very graphical. It's very devastating to watch in the inhumane killings that happen for the queer folk. And initially I thought that, what, this is just propaganda, that someone might just want to initiate a conversation, because sometimes you find that people will mistakenly say that someone has passed on, only to realize it something else, but they actually haven't passed on. And this was really, really disheartening to realize that this happened, because I got the news at around 4 a.m. and I couldn't be able to sleep. So I literally had to try and like get the conversation, like what exactly happened, and it's really, really true. It was confirmed that Edwin Shiloba is no more. This is really devastating, considering the fact that it's not just a year, like in 2022 we had the death of Sheila Lumumba, among others who have been killed, and so not much has been done in regards to their cases. So we really and truly hope that the justice system is literally going to understand and fight for the rights of the queer folk. And this has literally had to spark something inside me, where I have to literally kind of like redo this episode again, because I initially did an episode a while back when we were discussing about safety for the queer folks, and I felt that this is very important for me to bring the video back again, or the messages back again. And so I just want to start by sometimes, not sometimes, but queer folk have been targeted for hate killings for quite some time now, and it's really high time that we start taking precautions and safety for ourselves, because security starts with me. Security doesn't start with my neighbor, it doesn't start with my parents or my friends or this community organization that have been put up to, put in place our protection. No, security has to come from within. We need to look at our surroundings and environment and determine whether or not it's safe to do or even, be who we are in regards to our sexual orientation and or gender identity. Because we have this notion, especially here in Kenya, that identifying as an LGBTIQA plus member, it's a rich people thing, it's a suburban thing. It's not, it's literally not what society perceives. So it's, if you do it and you're coming from a low or middle income social economic environment, it's really, really hard and challenging for you to express yourself the way you are and for who you are. So I would just start by saying, if it all starts with the environment someone lives in, the environment someone thrives. Let people understand that the environment they're in greatly determines the security. And at this point, as I'm speaking, I'm not talking anything in regards to Edwin or Sheila, or other previous queer killings that have happened. I am not talking about that. That's a very sensitive topic. I'm diving about your security, you as a person. And so when you understand that your home area and the people around you determine or define where you are at or who you're going to be, it's very, very important for you to understand the fact that they are going to profile you. When it comes to gender expression, today you represent, your expression is masculine, tomorrow your expression is feminine. It raises eyebrows and questions, and how people are idle and just waiting for something to happen. They are definitely going to single you out, and that can prove motive to attack because they don't understand who you are and the kind of people you're vibing in. And especially if it's in low or middle income areas, people are very, very nosy because the apartment flats are designed in a way that there are stay-at-home moms, there are house helps, there are we call them border guys. I don't know how to put that in English, but they're always all around our area. We have women who make foodstuffs, roadside food vendors. It's they literally, they notice things, they notice the environment. So when they start seeing that you're acting some type of way that doesn't conform to what society says or what society expects, then it becomes a huge problem. And so you can become a target. If you're going out on clubs, please, I would suggest that you use queer friendly clubs or allied clubs, clubs that are open to everyone's sexual orientation and or gender identity. Because when sometimes gays, queer community, the queer folk, we know how to throw a party. That is one thing the queer community knows how to do, and oftentimes things can get out of hand. So in this scenario, if you're in an environment that is not very conducive for you, you're posing a security threat to yourself. So please, if you're going out as friends, at least go out as responsible friends and don't cause chaos or attention to yourself. Again, guys, it's not like I want to push out the queer agenda, as people call it, or slap it like what, to our right. No, I'm literally not trying to do that. Again, I am talking about security and safety for you as a queer folk. And when you're in clubs, always be vigilant. Sometimes queers can just meet someone and then all of a sudden you're in their car or you're in an Uber going to the place. You don't know this person, if they've given you the actual names. You don't know where they live, you don't know anything about this person, and you're just in the car in the middle of the night just going to his place or her place or their place. And then before you know it, someone is missing. Last seen was in the club, never said where they went, very intoxicated, doesn't know the state of mind they're in. So it becomes quite a challenge even trying to locate you. and probably this person could be a blackmailer. We've had those instances where people pose as queer community, and then the moment you get into their house with them, they're like five other people demanding things from you, or they're threatening you and stuff like that. So you need to be very, very vigilant when it comes to your security, and even where you're hanging out and the people you're hanging out with. I always suggest drink in the house. It's cheaper. You leave the house and 5,000, 10,000 is already gone just by waking up in the morning. You understand? So imagine just going outside. It's quite expensive. So drink in the house if you have to. Frequent clubs once in a while, but just be a responsible person. I always say this and I get trashed so much for it, but if your environment doesn't allow it, tone it down a bit. I know this sounds crazy, but tone it down a bit if the environment doesn't allow it. If you feel that this is not a safe place, it's not a safe environment for me to be as flamboyant as I want to be, probably mask presenting as I want to be. If you feel the environment is not that conducive, tone it down, because people can attack you through that. It's all about being aware of your surrounding and the people you are with. Yeah, we do have this local organizations or community organizations that deal with safety and security for queer folk, but they, before they get to you, damage will already have been done. So just, if you feel, or you assess that the environment is not conducive, just tone it down a bit. It doesn't take your queerness away from you. And it's not like queerness, it's something that was brought to us. It's not a Western thing as people tend to think. Personally, I was born and raised in the rural areas. There's an area called Kajiado, not the Kajiado of Rongai or Ngong, which are a little bit modern. I was born and raised in the Kajiado county, where literally it's close to a desert area, no technology, and there's no social media at the time. So you can't say that this thing was influenced on me. It was something that in the back of my mind, I knew that, I represented or I identified as a gay man. That was me. For some others, I don't know your experience, but that was me. I knew, and I did understand growing up, so I know how to go about my security. But do you know how to go about your security? That's a very, very important question. And at this point where we've started the year with so many killings, whereby I'm just getting messages or notifications from friends about, oh, RIP, rest in peace. It's really not a good sight. It's something that I would wish to have less of. I want to see you grow. I want to see you become someone who's important. I want to see you become happy in your own skin. But we can't do that if we have to say, rest in peace, so and so. It's just not going to happen, So it's a matter of you to take care of yourself. And I know and understand that this is a very, very trying time, and it's not that easy. And if you feel that you have so much weighing in on you that you need someone to talk to, please reach out to me. If you are of the queer community and you feel that you need that mental health, I can organize a way for you to get free mental health services, free of charge. So if you need that someone to talk to, please reach out to me, and I'm going to be that helping hand, because I want to see you live and I want to see you thrive and be safe outside. It's the purge out here, They're just doing it because, the law doesn't protect the queer folk. Personally, before even making this episode, I was very, very scared. I still am, and very skeptical about, personally, even my own safety, being that I am out and open, So I feel or felt that this is very, very unsafe, but I have to do it for that person who is not in a position to, for that person who doesn't feel that they have a say. So let me be that helping hand for you. And if you feel the heaviness, reach out, reach out, and stay safe. Look at where you are and who you are with. You know, don't just do things for the sake of doing it. Not just because everyone is doing it doesn't mean you have to. You know, so stay safe, protect yourself, be that person you want to be without any restrictions. Live your truth. And I'm gonna see you here again next week, same time, same place. My name has been Ruele-ations, and this has been Sex by Relation. So please, for some support, go check out my podcast and other episodes. The link will be in the description below. Gosh, I still can't get used to saying that. But go check it out, and I'll see you again next week, same time, same place. Goodbye, Koheri, adios, and obrigada.